Hello and welcome to the Silicon Valley Real Estate Market Update for September 2025. In this video, we'll be reviewing the latest data from August 2025 for both Santa Clara County and San Mateo County. We'll cover median home prices, days on market, price per square foot, sales volume, inventory levels, and pending contracts. I'll also share the latest on mortgage rates and the U.S. job market and highlight a few major business developments here in Silicon Valley that may influence housing demand. Let's get started. First up, Santa Clara County. In August, the median sold price for single-family homes was $1,880,000. That is actually unchanged from July, but it's up about 3% compared to August of last year. Homes took a little longer to sell. The median days on market was 13 days, up just over 7% from July and up 30% year over year. Looking at value on a square foot basis, the median price per square foot came in at $1,043. That's up 5% from the previous month and up 4% compared to last year. As for activity, there were 724 homes sold in August. That's a slight increase of 1.6% from July and up more than 5% compared to last year. Inventory remains low, but it did tick up. Santa Clara County had about 1.3 months of inventory available in August. Now that is up 16% from July and up nearly 3% compared to last year. Finally, 767 homes went under contract in August, up just over 7% month over month and about 5.5% year over year. So in Santa Clara County, home prices held steady, sales volume and pending contracts increased, and homes are sitting on the market a little longer than they were a year ago. All in all, a pretty solid month in August. Normally in Silicon Valley, we see something of a slowdown. August tends to be a month with fewer sales and lower prices than in June and July, but not the case this year. Pretty strong performance for Santa Clara County. Now let's turn to San Mateo County. The median sold price for single-family homes in August in San Mateo County was $1,900,000. Now that is up about 1.1% from July and up nearly 7% compared to last year. Homes in San Mateo County also took a little longer to sell. The median days on market was 14 days. That's an increase of nearly 7% from July and just under 8% higher than a year ago. The median price per square foot stood at $1,156. That's essentially flat month over month, rising less than 0.5%, but up about 4% year over year. Now in terms of sales, San Mateo County saw 313 homes close escrow in August. That's up 14% compared to July and up almost 6% compared to last year. Inventory in San Mateo County is still very tight at about 1.5 months of supply. Now that's up about 3% from the month before and up about 3.5% year over year. And there were 355 homes that went under contract in August, up more than 4% from July and up nearly 2% from last year. So overall, San Mateo County shows a similar pattern to Santa Clara. Prices are higher than a year ago, sales volume is up, albeit modestly, and inventory is still well below what would be considered balanced. Now let's talk about mortgage rates and employment. Mortgage rates have moved lower in recent weeks, I'm sure you've heard, with a 30-year fixed mortgage averaging 6.35% as of September 11th, the lowest since October of last year. But it's important to recognize why rates are easing. Job growth has slowed to just 22,000 new positions nationwide in August, and unemployment has risen to 4.3%. In other words, the cost of borrowing is falling, not because of stronger economic fundamentals, but because the labor market is weakening. For Silicon Valley real estate, that dynamic creates a mixed picture. Lower rates may improve affordability and bring some buyers back into the market. Yet if weaker employment begins to affect local tech hiring or household confidence, demand for homes could cool even as financing conditions become more favorable. Let's finish up with some headline news that may affect housing demand here in Silicon Valley. In 2025, Apple continued expanding its real estate footprint in the South Bay. The company purchased the Matilda campus in Sunnyvale for $365 million, bringing its total Bay Area acquisitions this year alone to around $900 million. NVIDIA also continued its buying spree, acquiring another Santa Clara office complex on Walsh Avenue for about $123 million. Now, if you ask me, these moves show that the region's two largest tech players are still investing heavily in Silicon Valley real estate, even while overall office vacancies remain elevated. For example, Sunnyvale reported roughly 18% office vacancy earlier this year, and across the valley, the amount of new office development underway is at a 12-year low. And speaking of news, earlier this month, CBS News ran a piece about foreign buyers in the Bay Area. Their story pointed out that in the Bay Area housing market, demand is rising not just from tech buyers, but increasingly from international investors, particularly those who come from China, who lead the pack, followed by buyers from Canada, Mexico, India, and the United Kingdom. Between April 2024 and March 2025, foreign buyers across the United States purchased about 78,100 properties for a total of $56 billion, a 44% year-over-year increase. In California, Chinese investors in particular are focused heavily on the state, drawn by perceived business opportunities, land ownership, and attractive housing values. Now, despite this growing foreign demand, local tech sector cash buyers still provide intense competition, especially in premium markets like Silicon Valley, where homes are selling quickly and for strong prices. So, to recap, in August, both Santa Clara and San Mateo County saw higher median home prices than a year ago, modest increases in sales activity, and slightly more inventory, though still far below balanced levels. Mortgage rates are at their lowest in nearly a year, while national job growth is slowing and unemployment has risen to 4.3%. And that is your Silicon Valley real estate market update for September 2025. Thank you so very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And if by any slim chance you did enjoy watching this video, I'm guessing, just a guess, that you might also enjoy some of these videos over here. These are some of the most popular videos here on my YouTube channel, so please do take a look. All right, that's all I have for this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and please stay tuned.